Have you ever heard of the Hiawatha Indian Insane Asylum? Yeah, most people haven't either. And honestly, that's part of the problem. Let me tell you what it was, because it wasn't what they said it was. This place opened up in Canton, South Dakota back in 1902 as the Canton Asylum for Insane Indians. It was supposed to be a hospital, a place to treat Native Americans with mental illness. But if you scratch even a little beneath the surface, what it really was a prison, dumping ground, a place to hide away Native people who didn't fit into the mold white America wanted them to. You didn't have to be mentally ill to end up there either. You just had to be inconvenient. People were locked up for all sorts of things, like practicing their tribal religion, speaking their own language, refusing to send their kids to white-run boarding schools, being a medicine man or spiritual leader. In other words, you could be labeled insane just for living your culture. Now, let's talk about what life was like in the asylum. The place was overcrowded, understaffed, run by people with no real medical training either. Patients were tied up, drugged, ignored, and forgotten. No therapy, no compassion, no chance of ever leaving. And when people died, and they did, they were buried out back in unmarked graves. Their families often had no idea what even ever happened to them. By the time it shut down in 1934, at least 121 Native people had died there. Some never should have been there in the first place. Many weren't even given a proper diagnosis. And all of them were far from home, stripped of their culture, and treated like criminals for simply being Native. And here's what really gets me. This place sat there for decades, and most folks just forgot about it. The cemetery almost got bulldozed for a new building in the 90s. That's how little it mattered to people. It took Native families, local historians, and activists fighting hard just to get a memorial built to honor the ones that are buried there. This wasn't ancient history either. This happened in the 20th century. Some of the descendants of the people locked up there, they're still alive, still trying to get recognition, still trying to get answers. So when people talk about how Native Americans should just move on, or that was a long time ago, just remember the Hiawatha Asylum. Remember that people were institutionalized just for speaking their language, practicing their faith, and holding on to their identity. And ask yourself, how do we honor them today? Follow for more untold stories, because this one deserves to be told.